Good morning and welcome, Connect fam. I told you she'd be back, so we made up a new thing. We're back. Sandy, you got to do it. Hey. You are officially watching the Connect Network TV right here on the CW, where each week we are elevating the conversation and really amplifying rather the voices of women and female entrepreneurs. And I like to say we sprinkle in a few amazing men as well, right, Sandy?
That's right. Absolutely. So if you are looking for inspiration, motivation, and an inner circle to network, you're in the right spot. Stitches, are we going to get into it?
Let's do it, Sandy. So we are kicking off the show with the new fashion trend. That's right. Right now, we're going to show you, well, they're going to really show you for women in business. It's called the business bag, darling. And it's one of the hottest products for entrepreneurs all across the world. So it's made by this incredible company, two besties, two best friends, and it's called Frankie Ray. Please help me welcome the two owners and new to the Connect fam. Hello, ladies.
Hi. Hello. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for joining.
We're so excited that you could be here with us. So these business bags, they're so sexy. What a niche. The style and the looks are so gorgeous. How did this come to be?
Well, there's a void in the market for them, really. If you have ever tried to look for a cool business bag or something fashionable and feminine and just pretty, well, we're the only people that make them. So it started there, and just knowing that we really wanted to create something that was beautiful and empowering and made you excited to go to work. And so we did.
I love that, because that's something we talk about within the show. It's like finding what is missing, what is the void, and you saw it, you found it, and then you went with it. So we hear you two are like longtime besties. You could say Thelma and Louise type of thing. How did you two meet?
Well, that is very true. We met in kindergarten and we went to the same school. So we have made our friendship something that we've been able to monetize, which is pretty cool because we do spend an awful lot of time together. So ideas for us were something that, we always had. And granted, there was many times where it just needed a wild weekend, but ultimately it became a business. So
I mean, what better way to collaborate with your bestie, right? You have these ideas and then you monetize them. I love it. It's so great. And you have several other sexy products in addition to the business bags. So when you decided to go into business, what was the initial vision behind the bags?
So we started with the bags, ultimately because we just knew that the business bag or the briefcase was our showstopper. It was our biggest differentiator. There was nothing else like it. And so we knew that was, a big like kapow, hello world, here we are kind of a product. But ultimately the goal has been to make whatever we want. So we have deemed that and turned it into, where Frankie Ray is ultimately a lifestyle brand. We make apparel for men and women. We have found that men love our leather goods, especially our travel collection products. Doing some summer swim trunks for the fellas next pool season.
Hey.
Yeah, they're gonna be cool. Believe me, you want ladies designing male swim trunks. Come to learn.
That is smart. Thank you, ladies. Well, for all the women out there, thank you so much. So, true story, ladies. Your brand is what we can call mature, and like Sandy mentioned, also very sexy. It's truly a reflection of your business talk. Talk more about your brand story, if you can, and how would you describe the look?
I think the look has always been chic and sophisticated, but just that little bit of push the envelope edgy. The interior textile fabrics that we design, all ourselves, and they're completely original. That's where it's like this big party of like, ooh, it's kind of your own little secret. Like, ooh, this may be my work bag, but look how fun it is. So I think that's kind of a nice, easier way to explain our business approach and like the branding visual.
I love
I
it.
love
Thank you.
it. So you guys kind of like cracked the code, right? It's like you found the way to do the business and also you have fun with it. So with that in mind, what tips do you have for other business owners when creating their brands?
The best thing that we've come to find out throughout all of it is it seems like you have this long, daunting road ahead of you to get to where you want to go because you have so many ideas, you have so many things you want to do, which in reality, that's actually a really good thing because it allows you to do something every single day. And that is the key, is if you work on your dream, and that's just really a component of not giving up. And if you don't give up, ultimately you could really have your brand.
You too. I love that. And that's really been my theme this whole week. Don't give up. Hashtag don't give up. Exclamation.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, lady. Well, Sasha and Stacy, how can people shop with Frankie Ray? How can they keep up with you, ladies, and your brand?
Well, we are on Instagram, which is frankie.ray. And it's Frankie, FRANKI.RAY. And our website.
Ooh, the same. Frankie with an I, FRANKI, Ray.com.
Amazing. Well, we love it, ladies. And if you like that segment, get excited because these ladies will be back. And after the break, we talk hot topics and marketing with Audrey Dollins after the break. So don't move. What's up, Connect fam? So she's the CEO of Ad Media Group, a professional photographer and a marketing strategist who curates content and represents clients to accelerate their business, brand, and products. This is definitely a hot topic. If you're looking to level up, this is your girl because she's bringing the influencer experience. Welcome, Audrey Dollins, to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Well, I'm going to give you a little point or two on a little twist that we did. So you're right. It's AD Media Group, but also Ad. So when you look for us, it's a little play on the name of Audrey Dollins.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I just got, you're already, Audrey is already ready to go. So can we get started? Audrey, so truth is you are creating consumer appeal through consistent marketing strategy and imagery. Two things, darling, we all know are important in this digital world. Talk about that.
Yes. So over 10 years ago, actually 11. So that is going to age me a little bit. 11 years ago, I started creating content for families, doing photography, wedding photography. And I just felt so passionate about connecting with the business owners. So while creating content and knowing how important it was for businesses, no matter what business it was, and I really started going, okay, I am good at this. I can create content. I'm great at advertising, and I'm great at working with these people creating a strategy. Where can I grow that? How can I help them even more? And then we started developing AD Media, where we started doing their everyday tasks on pushing that content out. And content, as you said, it's like the holy grail. You cannot have enough content.
I love it.
Preach it, sister. I'm with you. I'm so with you on that. That's what I live by that motto. So, you say that we need to be influencing as a resource. So how do we do this? And someone watching may be wondering, when or how do I become an influencer? So can you just shed some light on that for us?
So as we all know, and any business owner knows, we're balancing a lot. And so if there is someone that can give me something to make my day easier, you being a resource that makes my day easier, high five. I will pay anything if it makes my kids eat vegetables, makes someone, you know what I mean? Like anything that you
Amen.
can do, especially like style. Like if you can make me look cool, oh my gosh, I'll pay you. I'll pay you. And we're all balancing a lot. Moms, dads, husbands, wives. We want the career and we want the personal lives. It's all about being a resource. And when that happens, your audience automatically glues to you because you made their life easier and you're a tool for them to get through the day.
Right. I love it. And to my understanding, you're really data driven, Audrey. Can you please share with us the importance of analytics, monetizing, and really having a consistent marketing structure?
Yes. So I am very analytical driven. Before we got on here, we were talking about marketing dollars. The influencing industry right now, it's at $22 billion that companies are investing in influencers to market. So what I do with analytics is if your audience prefers workwear over athleisure and they're purchasing more of workwear, how can we help that to be more of a resource for them? To be consistent, as we were talking about, creating the content, creating and understanding those analytics. That's where AD Media Group came in. We created a team full of educated members that help each influencers do these tasks so they continue to create content if that fits for them. We try to be authentic, and those analytics help us to continue to be authentic. And that's what makes a successful influencer successful is you're not putting on any airs. You're being true to yourself, but also helping your audience.
I love this. It's definitely using, the power of influence, but what's genuinely and authentically true to you. So I love this messaging. And, you definitely use the power of media to your advantage. So tell us how you do this for your clients, how people can work with you.
So what we do with our clients is we look at what we can take off their plate that they can focus on, whether it is to create content or something that they're more passionate about. We put together all of the materials so that they can do, everything else like creating content and the other 100 other items, so they can focus on business as a whole and not just doing the full process. As we know, creating graphics, it's easier to give it away to someone that is fantastic at that instead of you spreading yourself thin trying to do everything.
I love it. Thank you so much for shining a light on this subject. It's all about the influencer experience. And we got to ask you, Audrey, where can people follow you and stay connected with you?
So you can follow me at Audrey Dollins, and you can follow our team at AD Media Group on Instagram and Facebook, and of course, all the other social outlets, because that's where we are.
I love it. Thank you so much. So stay with us, Connect fam. We're going to be right back. So get your coffee, get your tea, your water, whatever you need. After this break, there's so much more we got to talk about. Don't go too far.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Our next guest, Constantine Aline, is in the building. She joined us recently to share all about her incredible career working in corrections at Rikers Island and her civilian corrections academy that she created.
Yes, we are excited. That's right, Sandy. And if you're a civilian working inside of a prison, you won't want to miss this information. She has a wealth of it, and just her experiences beyond that I've seen or heard before. So we are so glad to have her back. Come on in, Connie.
Oh, thank you guys for having me back. This is exciting. I swear it is.
And I didn't mention, I forgot to mention, you have the best smile too. You have the best smile.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness.
So good. Gosh. Well, we are going to get into so much today. I know working in the prison system had to come with many challenges, and we all know reform is always a big topic.
Absolutely. So certainly when I started out in the jail, I started on Rikers Island back in 2000. And then I was later recruited to the Connecticut Department of Corrections, where I served as a prison health services administrator. So between the two spaces, certainly it was a lot learned going from New York to Connecticut. But I think the reality is that as a non-uniformed employee who never worked in law enforcement before, never had any, insights into that, it was certainly walking into probably one of the most dangerous environments. And so for me to walk in and not receive training is really why I started the academy. And so for me, the big thing is that, when they walk in, they want to do their best, right? And I think that's that's what most people do, right? They start a job, they want to do their best. But from a training perspective, when you don't have the necessary insights or the skills to navigate this environment, you end up becoming compromised. They're the ones who have everyday interaction with the inmate population. They're the ones who are the ones who are advocating internally. Because I think sometimes there's that narrative, right, that the folks that work in jail, they don't really care. And that's just not true. There are so many people who really care that these inmates don't come back. Right. And unfortunately, we are tied up in the bureaucracy of, a traditional paramilitary structure, right? Which is one of the things that I think prison reform is pushing for, right? Like, how do we make some adjustments to this environment so that there can be some innovation, so that the folks who are in there working with this population can actually do their jobs?
Right. And thank you for sharing that, Connie. But for those who maybe have never stepped foot into a prison, can you give us really just maybe some insight and idea of life on the inside? And a two-part question. One, how is life on the inside from your experience, and some of the support that you see that the prisoners are having to go little or without?
Yeah. So the first part of it, life on the inside as an inmate it's not fun, right? It's not nice. There are some facilities that are a little more from an infrastructure perspective. They are more appropriate conditions of confinement. And there are some facilities that are so old, but we are there as providers. And based on their Eighth Amendment right, we try to make sure they get the standard of care that you would receive when you are out in the community. But are the resources the same, right? The resources are sparse in many of these facilities where you have people who are trying to make the best of what they have. But how can I provide the best care for this person when I don't even have access to the resources to be able to do that? There are some spaces where the housing units are more locked as opposed to others where they can go to programming and they can do other things that sort of help prepare them for transition back into, the communities. But it isn't an easy life being in prison, right? Just because it's not. There was a memo that was put out by one of the captains that essentially said that the women would only be allowed to have 2 tampons and 2 pads for their entire cycle. So as the Prison Health Services Administrator, it is my job to go down and create the case so that we don't do this to this population, right? Because you think not only is this inhumane, right? But now I have to also think about what are all the medical conditions that are going to be the fallout from them probably not changing a tampon or a pad, right? Sorry for how gross this may seem to some that are listening, but this is very real. So ultimately, some arguing back and forth a little bit and some strong conversations, and we were able to get rid of the memo that was posted, and they were provided with what they needed. But that didn't come without, if they didn't look like you, you wouldn't be here.
So it's so interesting to hear about all this because we don't hear these stories. So tell us more about the Civilian Correctional Academy and how people that need the program can get involved. And also, how does this situation tie into prison reform?
For sure. So the Academy is a structured training. There are 8 learning modules that they go through. Once they complete the 8 learning modules, we have something we created called the Situation Room. They take everything that they learned and apply it into that situation. Once they're done with the Situation Room, they have a quiz. They have to score at least a 70 or better to move on to the next module. Once they complete all 8 modules, they do get a certificate of correctional readiness. We are the first and only that are certifying non-uniform staff to be correctional ready. So that's very exciting. Training is all about behavior, right? How do we train for the behavior we want to see in the environment? And we don't want people coming in who don't really care. We don't want people coming in or not being trained to understand that they can care, that they can show pride and be prideful about the work that they're doing, right? And so that we try to infuse in the training process. And when we talk about prison reform, the thing that really gets to me is that we have to bear in mind that there is a criminal justice framework that includes police, prosecutors, and courts, not just corrections, right? We're kind of the place that they end up in after they've gone through the system. And for me, it's like, how do we make sure that, yes, while corrections is a space that we want to make sure there's change, there's an entire framework that has to be addressed before someone even gets to our doors.
Awesome. Well, Connie, thank you so much for sharing all this information. We know that you will be back with us. So before you go, please tell us how people can connect with you, your website, please.
Sure. I am at conniealine.com and I am at civiliancorrectionsacademy.com, and really from conniealine.com, you can get everything there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Connie.
Thanks so much, Connie. Stay with us. The Spoiled Coach is next.
Welcome back, Connect fam. Your girl Stitches here with my co-host Sandy Glenn. So we are back, Sandy, and we're going to be wrapping up the show with the Spoiled Coach. Yes, that's what I said, Spoiled Coach. So she believes that women can be strong leaders without sacrificing family, sleep, or self. And how can you do it? Well, by using technology and systems that can really help you grow a business that feeds your bank account and personal mission. Anybody want that? Hello. So please help us welcome to the show, Miss Kelly Conley. Hey, Casey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You are great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Kelly, girl, you are talking my language, using all the systems, so system technology in your business to work less hours is the only way to level up. I love this. It's one of my favorite topics. So tell us a little bit more about how you incorporate that into your business.
Yeah, so I use systems in a lot of different places in my business, from organizing my thoughts and ideas so that I don't end up with a bunch of full journals to communicating and building relationships with my customers and my team.
Nice. And Kelly, what are some of your favorite systems that you like to use?
There's so many.
Run them down. Run them down. Your top three.
Top of the list is ClickUp. ClickUp is a project management system, but it's basically where if I have an idea, I go into ClickUp, I put my idea there, I put a due date on it because that makes it real. I put a due date on it, and then I assign it to myself. But my second favorite is Kajabi. It's where my website lives. It's where I do all of my email marketing. I even host my podcast through there. So it's very, very awesome. And then last but not least, ManyChat, which is like an bot messenger, but it helps you respond to people a lot quicker without you actually having to be on your phone all the time. So I love it.
Love it. Thank you for sharing your top three.
Awesome. Yeah. So share with us some additional tips. How do you guide your clients to balance work and family? This is such a hot topic. One of my favorites.
Yeah. So I always start with asking my clients, what is your vision, right? All of those big ideas that we have and where we see ourselves in 5 years or 10 years, business, family, whatever, it can be done with the right systems and processes in place. So we start by looking at that vision, looking at what you are doing right now and what you aren't doing but would like to be doing, and start implementing some of those tools to kind of automate some of those things and just pull in an extra set of hands, because that's what technology is for. It's not to replace us, it's to help us.
And Kelly, the experience you give to help create a business that builds people is your thing. How can people work with you, Kelly?
I have a couple of different ways, but the first one that people usually start with is they come into my 8-week program that I'm now actually extending to 12 weeks because I want to spend more time with people. And so it doesn't matter how crowded the market is. If you know what makes you unique, what makes you individual, then you have an edge. So we go through all of that, sales, the whole shebang, but it gets you on the road to booking clients and staying within your boundaries and your self-care so you're not overworking yourself.
Awesome, Kelly. Well, we really appreciate your time today. And I know we're going to be seeing you again soon. In the meantime, how can we keep up with you and work with you?
You can find me on social media at The Spoiled Coach, THE Spoiled Coach, or online at www.thespoiledcoach.com. And that website will show you all the links to everything.
Definitely connect with Kelly, the spoiled coach, darling. Thank you again, Kelly. And you know, we keep the fire going right here, Connect fam. So thank you so much for connecting with us. And if you maybe are ready to build your business, darling, and your brand with the power of media, there is no better way than to do it with us right here on the Connect Network TV. Right, Sandy?
That's right. And keep up with past episodes at theconnectonline.com.
Okay, so we will see you next weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you always for taking the time to spend your mornings with us. Love you for free. Tell somebody you love them. Love you for free, Sandy.
Woo! Love you for free stitches. Mwah.